Hi guys, I thought I would do this fun little different video. So basically what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to show you guys how I make my little page inserts. If you've ever watched my recent updated photo card collections, I have little card inserts, like placeholders. I don't know what we would like to call them, but I thought it would be fun to show you guys how I do that. So that is what I'm going to be doing in today's video, which is exciting because it's not a haul video, it's something completely different. I hope you guys enjoy, and yeah. So for the supplies, I'm going to recommend different options if people don't have certain materials, just so I can show the different methods that this can be done, because I know most people might not have certain supplies that I would have. We'll firstly go through the main method I use, which is the guillotine, the Tumblr, brush pens, and the cardstock. Okay, I have this photo card here because it's ready to be packaged up. I'm just waiting on the address, so this card will be a reference. Hi, usual. I get my ruler. I use the centimeters just because it's easier for me to like kind of process. And I literally just line it up, make sure it's from the zero. I'm sorry for the reflection of the light. And it is 5.5, I'd say. Okay, so it's 5.5 horizontally, and then vertically it is 8.5. So that is what we'll be using. So this is a new pad of the paper, just because the last one I had, there was only a few pages left, and I decided just to take them all out to make the little cards but have them for any new releases, which I still do have kept in my drawer. For the sake of this video, I'm going to be productive and actually make some. I'm just going to prioritise my origin cards just now, so we'll do that. 25 sheets, so that's good. But it was £9, but for this store, I get a discount on it. Discount, which is really good. I'm gonna zoom in just so you guys can see the little dots and how I mark them with the numbers. Despite you marking these out precisely with the certain dimensions, each size will be different just depending on how you cut it, because you kind of need to be really concentrated, and most of the time the cutting part is kind of just the boring part, so I kind of just like to go through that really quickly and rush it. But don't expect these to come out like each and every one being even, because it won't happen. From personal experience, I know. Okay, so I like to do the top line here. I'll zoom in just so you guys can see the numbers that I'm gonna mark down. Okay, so I hope the reflection isn't too bad. I kinda don't have the best setup just now, but we're trying to deal with it. So the first one we do is I like to do the horizontal dimensions first. So this is the 5.5 one, and I just like to line up kind of near the edge of the paper just so I can lightly mark it. And I don't know if you guys will be able to see it as much when it's zoomed out, but I just go from here and then just do it like a little line. And instead of like me having to add on another 5.5 from here, which would be 11, I just kind of like to move it along just so I know I'm not messing up my numbers. So just do that throughout the whole line. Okay, so round about here, this whole like margin of white space will not be used because clearly it's like half the size of what you actually need for the photo card shape. So what I do with this is I like to use it in my binder if I run out of these things and I don't want to make them, or if I know I have a card coming in but I don't have like one of these made for it. I will just have this whole like line cut out, but as well I would cut it into like smaller shapes, kind of like rectangles, just so they're reusable. I'm not wasting any of the paper, and it's kind of just like a quick alternative to doing these if you want to indicate that there's a card coming in or that you're missing that, and don't, as I said, if you don't have one of these already made. Kind of just saves the time. Okay, so what I do next is I'll turn this upside down and use the right side of this, and I will do this way just because it's easier. And this is still vertical, I'm just putting it horizontal because of me and being stingy with the ruler. For this one we're doing 8.5, so just make sure you're doing it in the same corner as you did with the horizontal one. We do it this way just because if you were to do it this way, the extra piece that you do not need will be cutting this off, and it'll be cutting off your dimensions for the horizontal plane, which you do not want. So we do 8.5 for this, and basically instead of having the ruler start from 0, I just do it from 8.5 and then mark it from the 0 point, which is just the edge of it. And then I just do the same here and match up to here. As I said, you can just add on another 8.5 to the ruler just to make it easier, but I prefer just having it this way so it doesn't confuse my brain. And then here we go. So this one is too small for us to make the photo card shape. Basically what we have is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 2, 3, So we're making 3 sets of 7, so we're going to make 21 of these, which is good. And that's why I like to use the A3 paper, just because you get more out of it. Okay, so I'm going to go and do it this way. So I'm going to put it in this way just because is the only way it can fit in, firstly, and there's just more to cut out, just so it's easier. So I'm going to zoom in just so you guys can see what I'm doing. Okay, I hope that's good enough. I'll maybe do it a little bit more. So as I said, you wanted to mark the vertical ones, which match the corner of the start of the horizontal ones, because it would be able to, when you have this strip, you can cut the horizontal sizes. I prefer to use this side of the guillotine. What I do is I try to mark up the line I made with the grey part, like the metal part, the edge here, because if I were to line it up with the plastic bit, it would be cutting just out of the little mark I made. So I like to cut it on just like outside the metal bit, because that's where I know this is going to pass, which isn't actually a blade, it's quite safe, which is good. I also try to line up the edge of the paper here to this bit, just because it makes it more straight, because if you were to do that, obviously it would make the whole thing squinty, but it just depends on how you can do it. And for this here, I have this little silver thing to press down so it doesn't accidentally shift when I'm cutting it, so let's just do that. And it gets kind of hard at this bit here because you can easily move this, just because there's less paper to hold here. You can't really tell how to line it up against this thing, but just try not to let it throw you off. And then we have this bit here, which I will save and just like cut up into little miniature rectangles later on. So then we'll have these little strip things. We should have 7 of these, and one of them should have the markings on it. With this guillotine, it's too hard to cut through so many, so what I like to do is kind of group them 4 and 3, and with one of them I'll just mark it up the same, so I don't even need to use the ruler. I'll just like line up this perfectly and then I'll just mark it up. So I'll do this quickly. I won't zoom in for it because I guess you can kind of understand where I'm coming from. And I'm just pressing this because I know it's really annoying having like such a bunch of paper and not being able to cut, so I do that into group. Okay, so you can kind of tell when you have them bunched together, not every single one is going to be the same thickness, which is okay. You should kind of just expect that from the beginning. But sometimes I make them really, really bad, and like some of them are huge. So again, I'll just do the same. You just need to put more pressure on it. Okay, I can even do that here. Wow. Okay, so you definitely need a lot more pressure. So we have our first bunch here. I'm guessing it's going to be harder with the group of 4, so let's just speed it up so you guys just don't have to sit through my pain of trying to cut these out. Okay, so we have all of them now. These are a bit small to what I usually have them, but okay, so this pile was the ones I've made prior to this, so it's kind of like what my current, like all my other like placeholders look like. And I use the dimensions for like a photo card for these ones, so I'm guessing that's why they're so small, but it's actually up to you how big you want them. But I do prefer these ones, and I think I made them bigger just so it fit in an individual sleeve, just like perfectly, so there was no like gaps behind it. But yeah, so if you guys want to know the dimensions for these ones I use, so if we just measure this up, 6.5 or 6.6? It's 6.4. 6.4 and then 9.1 or 9.2 I use for these ones. I think it's just because if you were to measure, because I think if it's just because if you were to measure it up with the photo card, and when you're cutting it, obviously it will get smaller if you don't cut it precisely, which is most of the time, so that's why I kind of prefer this one. So I just made a mistake and kind of just went with using the dimensions of the photo card. But yeah, so I'm just coming here saying I do prefer this side, but I came out with these ones today because I didn't, it's been a while since I have made these, since I've got like a bunch left from like the last time I made them, but I will make sure next time to keep it with the dimensions that I like. But just for example, I measured up to the photo card, not the one I usually do, so I kind of guess you just have to experiment with the sizes as well. I just wanted to come in here and tell you the differences about sizes because I knew something was up when I started cutting these, but yeah, they work just as well. I just prefer these ones. So yeah, sorry for the little interruption. So we have our stack of paper. As I said, I'm going to be doing the icy photo cards, so what I'll do is I'm going to match up the colour I want with the pens I have. So I'm just going to type out that it's the album cover because I would associate the blue colour with the album, obviously. So just so I can get an accurate colour of it. Okay, so it's kind of like light violet color, but there's also kind of hints of blue. So I'm gonna see what colors I can match up with this. Okay, so these were the best I could find. My best guess is this one, but we'll see how it goes because sometimes the pen does look different on the paper. Okay, so we're gonna go for this one, which is this. What I do is, this is basic lettering. I don't have a certain technique, I just try to do the best I can, which is if you're going up, do it light, and if you're going down, put more pressure on the pen so it goes thicker. So there's a thicker line. Okay, so I have 5 here, and we're gonna use this pen. So what I have, I'm going to reference the cards from my Instagram wish list, just because I put them in a certain order, because I did not know what one was which, just so I can reference what cards I have coming in to like my Instagram wish list, like my visual wish list highlight, and then my binder, just so it makes sense in my head. It doesn't have to be the official versions. So I'm just going to make it version 1, version 2, version 3, version 4, version 5. Let me try and do this without ruining it. I've just realised this, I've spelled her name wrong. Why did I put in to Jais? This is on my Instagram account as well, I'll need to fix that. Okay, good thing I noticed that there. Why, nobody told me? Because I was spelling it out thinking, what is wrong? Okay, so obviously I never get this right. I always have to squish the last letter of it up. So what I do is I use the coloured pens first, and I'll go onto the black pen just because it's easier for me to get done. Okay, so with my previous mistake, I'm going to try and make it fit in without having to squish it at the end. Okay, see there, we learn from our past mistakes. Okay, so we have all of our little cards done now. What I do for lettering, I kind of just make it my own. I look at references online, and you can tell my R's don't look like R's, but this is just how I do them. I don't know how else to do them because I have a certain way of doing like F's and a certain ways to doing like B's and P's. It's just, I've clearly just adapted to my own kind of way. One of the advice I would recommend to help you guys is I like just to do quick strokes, and I don't leave my pen on the paper just because it could bleed through if you hold it in for too long. Kind of just like, let's see if you can see this, like just like holding it down, it can kind of, I don't know, depends on the paper you're using, but I don't like to hold my pen down. I think it just wastes ink, and I like doing it in the quick motion just because I know if I do it slowly I'll think about it too much. So as you could tell, I thought about this one too much clearly, but like as I got further on I kind of got into the hang of it because I've not done this in a while. We will now use this pen. It's just a fine liner, so we'll be using this one. I like to kind of spread out how I write things down. Oh, okay, good thing I did not mark that there. So like I will put probably the album name up here and censor space in the middle. I will, sorry for the noise in the background. I will just put the version 1 here. I prefer having the version at the bottom, and I just place it in different places if the name's a bit different. I'll probably show that with the other ones, which I'll do more quickly, but since we have Yeji and like Chaeryeong, the names differ. I'll probably put then the version 1 in between the letters that dip down. So AC version 1. That's literally it. For my NCT font, it's kind of easy to replicate. I would do it in the NCT font, but for most cases I'll just do it in my own handwriting. Okay, so we have them all here now, and that is basically it. Okay, so I managed to put them into the sleeve. I laid this out how I did my 6 cards per sleeve because I am going to get the pre-order, and I'm going to put the pre-order here because I put the 2 selfie ones down here. Unless I move the 2 selfie ones here so they're in the middle, because I do prefer these cards over the border ones because those are the photo cards I'm going to collect for the other members. Because it'll be easier for me to collect the 2. But yeah, I'm going to collect all of Rujan's cards, and her pre-order is going to go here, I think. I might actually just do that. I'll make the version, I'll just move these 2 up here because I do like the look of the selfie cards and it would be nice in the middle. And yeah, this is what I ended up with. Okay, so you can tell there's a big difference in how many you can make with just the A4 piece of paper. So we've got 2 for the vertical, and then we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for the horizontal, so that's a total of 10 compared to the A3 sheet where we got 21 out of it, I think. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm just going to use my ruler and just all the other alternative materials. So I don't think I'm the best with X-Acto knife skills, so I'll try my best. I'm going to line it up with one of the lines here. Okay, as you can see, it's squinted there, but it's hard to keep a straight line even if you have like a guide with the ruler. Clearly messed up here. Okay, so I kind of messed up at the end just because the knife slipped. I'll just blame it on that. But I'll be using the scissors for this bit just because it'll be easier to cut through the layers of the paper rather than me trying to... Yep, this one's gonna get thrown away, but this one has the guidelines on it. You can kind of see that they're not really the same size. When I was talking about this earlier, it wasn't this bad because it's all going to be the same length, it's just not going to be the same thickness. So like, make sure they're all down to the bottom so they're not squintering. And just try your best to make a straight line with it. That was not straight at all, but... I think the sizes were really messed up with this one, but I'll get the ones that do look decent. We basically got like 4 good ones out of these. Okay, so firstly I'm just going to test out the Tumblr markers just to see how well they do in a normal printer paper. Okay, so they're actually not that bad, but you can tell the colour does look a bit different and you can kind of see more of the bleeding. See if you hold it down there, you can kind of tell. So like, that's why I said I kind of like to do them in quick strokes, because if I were to do this quite without taking my pen off the paper, this is what I was talking about earlier, I think it would just bleed through and you can kind of see the lines. So like, if I were to do the R with the Y, you can kind of see the lines where there's like jaggedy bits, I guess, compared to more of like the clean look here. And then we'll go on to the Crayolas. Okay, so I'm going to try and pick out a colour that is closest to the one I have. I'm kind of assuming it should be like one of these colours, but I guess it would come out about grey, but it doesn't have to be the exact colour. And I'll also try it in a cardstock, just to see if there's any difference within how it bleeds through and like how it writes, I guess. I'm gonna try these 2, I think. And just to warn you guys, I don't actually have a lot of experience doing calligraphy type of writing with Crayolas, so I apologise if it doesn't look as good as the combo pens. It does help if you guys just practice it. So I'm gonna test the colours out.
This is the colour I used for this. Okay, it's a little more purpley. It's like a bit more dark grey.
But I think we'll just go with this one. It's kind of similar, it's just not as light and kind of vibrant as the other one. It's kind of more muted. Hopefully I don't mess this up because I can barely do the calligraphy for the Tumblr brush pens, even though I'm more used to it. So let's see how this goes. I'm sorry if you guys can't see it either, it's just the way I write and the tripod's in the way, so I'm kind of having to like do it squinty. Yeah, that did not go as well because I cannot keep the lighter part of the pen on the paper. Okay, let's try that again. Okay, it's not that bad. Maybe I should zoom in for it. So these two were the just normal paper, the printer paper. The bleeding isn't that bad. If you think about it, compared to the bleeding from the Tumblr, it is quite a bit more. But again, I'm not as kind of well practiced with using these pens with it, but we'll try the cardstock now, see if this makes any difference. Okay, it does look a bit more textured for some reason, like it's kind of, I don't know if you can see that. I don't know what you call this, it just looks a bit like, you know how line pictures look noisy? But I would say it's not that bad, I just have to kind of practice a bit more with it, but these pens do seem a bit like good for the price, because I got that big giant packet of 24 pens for only like £6.50 because it was on sale. I think it was like originally £8 something, but we got £2 off that. So definitely if you guys want to start out with like practicing calligraphy, I would definitely recommend these because is actually not that bad. Yeah. So I'm gonna write this again, see if I can make it a bit better, just because I'm kind of lacking in my thinner lines. So those are the upstroke, the downstrokes are thicker, but I think it's hard because these are kind of new compared to the Tumblr brush pens I have. But yeah, I'll try that again. Hopefully it's not too bad because the first one did not turn out well, but gradually it was getting better. So this is the cardstock still. Okay, so I just realised there, the tip has kind of went bent. I'm gonna see if there's any difference with this, because I could try this one out. But yeah, I can kind of see a difference. I'm getting a bit better. Okay, yeah, I think that tip's a bit messed up. I can kind of try to like flatten it down into place because it's a bit curved just now, but maybe it was just the pen I took out. These are the differences. I'll bring out the ones that I've used the cardstock for. Okay, so despite the colour difference, I think definitely using the Crayola on the cardstock does have more advantages to just a normal printer paper, just for one reason, for like the bleeding, and I think it's a bit more smooth to write on these, and for comparison of the Tumblr pens, there's not that much difference with the bleeding because it still is quite light, but it does have you can kind of see when you overlap the lines. I don't want to make any comments because it will just be up to you guys what you guys prefer, but I don't know if there is any alternatives, but these are the ones I could only think of. Okay, so I just went ahead and made the ones that I was missing. So I did the Polaroid version, and then I did one for the other members. As I said, I'm going to collect 2 versions for each member because there's 2 photocards that are borderless, and that's the ones I'm wanting to collect. So with me organising my binder in alphabetical order, I will have to put Etsy before ISNT. I was thinking they were supposed to go after them, but then I realised there's a T. I was just thinking of the IZ. So these will go here, and I need to find a 2-pocket sleeve for Eugene's postcards, which I have coming in, which is so exciting. But yeah, so the postcards will go in here before the member cards, and yes, I had to use the bigger ones for Cherry Young's cards. As I said, her name was too long for me to even like try and fit in here, and yeah, I guess like with member names, I make them bigger if the name's smaller. And I still need to make a cover page for this, but if you guys want, I can try and make a video about how I organise my binder and kind of like unorganised with me or something, because I have my cover page for Dreamcatcher, but these were supposed to be temporary because I did not make them for each and every group I was collecting, and I don't really like them as much. They were kind of rushed, but yeah, for some groups I don't have them for it. Etsy is one. I have it for Luna. I think I have it for Preston, but I don't have it for Wiki Mickey. There's quite a few in here. I'm considering to at least sort my binders. I don't know what I'm going to do. I can maybe do a plan with me with it first, and then kind of have like different parts to it. I don't know. Hope I'll be able to finish this at least until their next comeback, which is rumoured to be 4th half of the year, so like October, December time. I think I would love a Christmas kind of comeback from them, AC, you know, I don't know. but they could do a lot with that. Thank you for watching this. If you guys enjoyed, please let me know, because this is something different to my usual content. I would just like to see how the response would be, and then I can kind of work on it from that. But yeah, I can take it into consideration and try and like make it amends to it and try and make it better, or like alter things to make it better to watch, easier to watch and stuff like that. Just because I know this could have easily been like a shorter video, but with me making this is obviously like 10 times longer than that should be. But yeah, so thanks for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.